Greetings. I'm about to make my loaded coleslaw. In fact, I'm calling this the Matrix Reloaded coleslaw. But anyway, oh, you know what? I forgot my pecans. I have that too. So, what's going to go into this coleslaw is apple. You can put as much or as little apple as you want. Most of the time when I make homemade coleslaw, I do pineapple juice, and I do some, of the crushed pineapple. But this time I'm actually going to be using apple. So, and I might put a little fruit juice in my coleslaw. It might be orange juice. I'm not sure. I have a fresh pineapple. I might add a little bit of that. But with this apple, that's enough for me. But I do like to add a little of the juice of, like if it's either an apple, pineapple, or orange, just a little bit, because to me it adds the flavor, especially pineapple. But for this, I'm going to use the apple. I'm going to cut up some carrots. I've got some broccoli. I've got some raisins. I've got some pecans for some nice crunch. My handy chopper, I have a head of cabbage, and I have raisins. I also have some light sour cream, and I have some coleslaw, I guess you call it, I don't know, mixed sauce, whatever. They have this. You can kind of buy this in jars. You can buy it in this. The reason why there's a bunch of different varieties of coleslaw sauce, or whatever you want to call it. But I have this under the light sour cream because I'm going to cut some of the fat. So, basically whether I use this or whatever's in a jar, unless I buy it fat-free, it has a lot of, fat and stuff like that in it. I want some fat for flavor, but I don't want as much fat as is in the, traditional coleslaw mix, which is, if you make it homemade, my grandmother used like full fat mayonnaise, and she had, what is that? Damn, that seed. Is it caraway seed or something like that? I can't remember. But, she used mayonnaise, which, not light mayonnaise. We didn't even, old school growing up, I don't even know if we knew about light mayonnaise. But anyway, that's what I'm going to use to cut some of the fat. So, and then I mentioned carrots. Yeah, I did. And this broccoli was washed. I, let it dry, and I washed it. I blanched it for just like a minute in the microwave with some hot water. Took it out, ran it under cold water, and then let it dry. So this is going to go in there too. So stay tuned for my loaded coleslaw. I guess that's what I'm calling it. I come up with these names for this. I try to make it exciting. I don't know. Anyway, here it comes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I wanted to come back. I forgot to mention real quick. Of course, you have, bagged coleslaw with everything in it. You have broccoli slaw that's already in the bag with the broccoli and the cabbage and the carrots and, everything. Purple cabbage, it fits in there. That is already pre-washed and pre-packaged. But a lot of times, if I have, a head of cabbage, and if I'm not making, steamed cabbage or a cabbage pot, I will make some fresh coleslaw, and just, it's nothing for me to use my little food chopper and chop up the cabbage. Either, a blender with shredding up the cabbage, or my chopper chopping it up, or by hand just kind of like cutting the cabbage like into shreds for coleslaw mix. For me, it's kind of fun. I remember my grandmother doing it like that. She never bought the bagged, coleslaw, bagged lettuce, bagged cabbage, bagged anything. She just kind of cut everything You know, for salad, she just cut the lettuce and it was in a bag salad. For coleslaw, I always remember her doing it like this. And I think it's kind of cool. So when you cut cabbage, first of all, I'm going to wash this cabbage off and pat it dry. But there's a core, like right in the middle, and it looks like this, actually. See that circle right in the middle there? You don't want that. That's the tough part. So you want to make sure you cut around the very like center where that core is. That's the tough part that you don't want. Other than that, I'm not going to use this whole cabbage. The rest I'm probably going to steam and have it for dinner with some fish or something like that. But I'm going to make probably enough that's going to be a broccoli slaw, loaded slaw that's going to be in this orange bowl right here. So I just want to mention about the cabbage. But if you don't feel like bothering with that, just get yourself a bag of cabbage, prepackaged broccoli slaw mix. You know, they do have it with just, you know, regular coleslaw. If you don't want the broccoli in it, that's cool too. But the broccoli adds another dimension to it and adds a crunch that I really like. And it's really more nutritious for you. It adds a bit more nutrition. So I love adding broccoli to the actual coleslaw mixture. All right, so I'm going to get this cabbage into my... I have some cabbage that I've already chopped. I'm going to get it into my chopper and start getting this loaded coleslaw together. All right, y'all, so I'm just going to chop my cabbage up first. So I'm going to get my carrots peeled and I'm going to get my apples peeled. And then I'm going to be right back. I feel like, you know, you guys don't need to see me peeling this, or every now and then you'll see me chopping something, but I like to get straight to it. So when I come back, these carrots going to be peeled, and I kind of use these 3 little small carrots because I didn't have a big, like one big one. But if you have one big carrot, that's enough for this bowl. If you're making obviously a huge bowl and using more cabbage, you want to use more carrots, but you don't need a ton of the carrots and you don't need a ton of the apple. The apple is something that, you know, I don't put a huge amount in. Even if I use like pineapple or some kind of fruit, I don't use a huge amount of that, but just a little tanginess from the apple. And this is just a Fuji apple. So, if you can get your hands on a Fuji apple or a Granny Smith apple, but any kind of apple will do, but those are the best for this broccoli slaw because they have that tartness kind of in them that lends itself well to the flavor of the coleslaw with and a little teeny bit of sweetness along with the raisins. But yeah, so I'm going to get these peeled, and then everything's going to be ready for my chopper, which is not a lot, just the cabbage, this one apple, and this little bit of carrot. So totally easy, simple. But like I said, if you don't feel like dealing with, you know, cabbage and carrots peeling and all that, just get yourself a big bag of mix, coleslaw mix, and you're good to go. But if you're in the mood to, you know, actually kind of have fun and make this, then this is cool too. All right. Family, my cabbage is chopped. Now I'm just going to do the apple. And as you can see, I have a tiny chopper. I don't have, you know, huge appliances and things like that because I have such a small kitchen. So, and I don't have anything that's particularly high end, which is cool for me. I'm a very, you know, basic, simple person who, you know, just likes kind of simple things. So I've got that one apple, and I was thinking about too, if I were making more, I do 2 apples, but I'm not doing a whole, you know, ton of this. So I'm just going to use this one apple. So that's chopped. Gonna put that in there. So my 1 apple's in there. And just gonna do the carrots. Doesn't matter if there's still, you know, apple residue or whatever on there because it's all going in there together. So that doesn't even matter. You don't have to clean your chopper or anything like that. That's good to go. I think that is actually, I'm looking, do I want more carrots? I think that's it. I don't think I want any more carrots. I think that's enough for this. So, there we go. Alright, so at this point, I have the cabbage in there, chopped cabbage, the broccoli, and those chopped carrots. You know, you might say, well, how much carrots, how much broccoli, how much this and that. The ratio all depends on how much you're making. You know, I'm making about this size bowl. I mean, if you have like a huge red bowl or a huge, well, I have a huge red bowl. But if you're making like a huge batch of this is sort of like a medium-sized batch. If you're making a huge batch, you know, what you want to do is, there's no rules. Dump as much broccoli, cabbage, and carrots as you want in there. And, you know, if you're going to make, if you're making more, then obviously you're going to use the entire head of a large cabbage. I had kind of a medium large cabbage, and I used like half of it. So if you're making more, obviously use the whole head of the cabbage. If you are making more, obviously use, that was maybe like, this was maybe like I would say a cup of broccoli, almost, not even a cup. Maybe 3/4 of a cup of broccoli. You might want to use, you know, almost a whole cup of broccoli or over that. You might want to use 2 huge carrots if you like a lot of carrots. And obviously use 2 to 3 apples if you're making a huge batch of this. But for me, this right here is good. I'm going to add, I love sun-made raisins. I just love raisins anyway. Raisins are one of those things for that, you know, has a lot of sugar, obviously. But I will do like a handful of raisins in cereal, raisins and peanuts. It's a really good snack. So I'm not using a ton of raisins. Let's do that, a handful. So I put like, I mean, look at that. That's how much raisins I put in there. So not a whole lot. But if you are a lover of, you know, more, you know, raisins, do it. But I just want a little bit of raisins in there. I don't want a ton of raisins in there. So at this point, other than the chopped pecans, pecans, however you want to say it, that go in, this is it for my dry ingredients. I'm just going to add the nuts at the end. And if you are making this for, you know, a batch for a crowd or people that you don't really know, do not use any nuts for nut allergies. If you know who you're making this for, cool, you can use the nuts. Or if you don't like nuts, then just omit them. But I like the pecans in here, or walnuts for crunch. Some people add sesame seeds, some people add sunflower seeds, all kinds of nuts. Like I said, there's no rules. It's what you want to do. You don't have to say, well, you know, this might not work or that might not work. Try it and see if it works with food and with cooking. I always say the only limits and even life that you have are those that you impose upon yourself. If you want to use, you know, sunflower seeds, then use them. Any kind of nuts that you want in this mixture are a go. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to straighten up a little bit, come back, and I'm going to do the wet. So, but this is very easy. I mean, how easy is that? Even chopping. So I'll be right back after I straighten up a little bit. All right, friends and family, this is literally how fast this is going to go, this part of it. I have a pineapple, a fresh pineapple that I'm going to cut when I finish that fruit salad. I have a fruit salad blog that's coming up. And I'm actually going to add some of that fresh pineapple and the juice to this towards the end. But for now, I've got some light sour cream. You want to use light because, like I said, I'm trying to cut some of the fat of this. Or you can also use fat-free Greek yogurt, plain yogurt, unsweetened. I do not put any sugar in here because I've got raisins. I've got the apple, so that's plenty sweetness right there. And I'm going to add some pineapple juice and pineapple, fresh pineapple. So that's enough sweetness. So I don't add any type of sugar, but about two tablespoons of that light sour cream. Okay, and like I said, if you have some Greek yogurt, plain yogurt, or Greek non-fat yogurt, you might want to use that as well. That's good too. Any type of coleslaw dressing, and I kept saying mix and sauce and all that dressing. Sometimes when you're, you know, in the kitchen, if I'm in the kitchen cooking by myself, I'm cool. But when you have to, you know, if you're doing it for an audience, like I said, I'm just starting to get used to actually cooking, doing a vlog and cooking for an audience. It's totally different. Sometimes your brain kind of stalls on you as you're cooking. I don't know. Anyway, the dressing. There's, you know, the jar ones are the ones that I usually use. This looked a little bit different, and I love Hidden Valley Ranch anything, so I chose this. But it's just a Hidden Valley Ranch coleslaw dressing, and I'm going to add about, it does have a decent amount of fat in it, so I'm going to add about 2 small tablespoons of that, along with the sour cream. Fat-free sour, I mean, not fat-free, but like 50% less fat sour cream. So let's mix that together and see how that goes. I'm just gonna fold that in. And the thing about coleslaw, you'll find that you don't really need a ton of dressing because it absorbs it like really quickly, and you'll find, you know, if you use too much, it'll be like too juicy. I don't necessarily need my coleslaw to be like runny juicy, but I like it to be like moist and but not necessarily soaking wet like you see some coleslaw. So another little small drizzle of that, or any type of jarred dressing that you have, that's coming together really nicely. Okay, so that's good for me. You might, you know, need more or less. So what I'm gonna do is the pineapple, I'm gonna slice that pineapple, finish my fruit salad, and I'm gonna come back and add some of that fresh pineapple and the juice. If you have canned pineapple, crushed pineapple with juice, that's perfect. It just so happens that I have a fresh pineapple, and I love fresh fruit in anything. For me, fresh is always best. So, I'm gonna taste this and see, you know, what it needs. Notice I did not add any salt because you guys know or will learn that I'm on low sodium, but the mix, the coleslaw mix, has sodium in it. If you need, you know, like a pinch of salt or salt it, okay, feel free. For me, with reduced sodium, on a reduced sodium lifestyle, I'm not adding any salt. All right, guys, I will be back, and I'm going to have that fresh pineapple and pineapple juice and add that. Then we're going to chill this and top it with some of those pecans, and it's going to be good to go. How easy is this? So that loaded slaw been hanging out in my refrigerator, chilling out, and I'm going to add some of that pineapple. The pineapple does not have to be, you know, shredded and all of that. I like to have, you know, some texture in anything I eat. And it's cool to have, you know, some of that pineapple. Like I just cut these little pieces up, and I'm going to put that right in there. These little pieces. And I'm going to put that juice, that pineapple juice, in there. There's a piece that's a little bit thicker that needs to be cut up. Okay, and I got some more, a little bit more pineapple I want in there. And I'm kind of choosing the pieces of pineapple that are really super ripe towards the front and when I cut the pineapple. So that pineapple juice is in there. If you have, you know, canned pineapple, I would say about 3 or 4 tablespoons or more of that fresh pineapple. And let me see what's going on with this. See if it needs what it needs or it doesn't need. It does need a little salt. That much. And feel free to add more of the coleslaw mix, less of it, however you want to season this. Batter. That's what it needed. Some pepper. And I'm gonna tell you what else I'm gonna do. I know, seems odd, doesn't it? A splash of orange juice, just a splash. You see how much I put in there? A splash of orange juice, just because I didn't have that canned pineapple and I couldn't add more of the canned pineapple juice. Okay, family, I'm going to let this chill out. The longer it sits, the better it tastes, and I will be back and show you, clean this bowl up and show you my loaded coleslaw. I might add a little bit more pineapple. Friends, families, acquaintances, there goes that creamy, loaded coleslaw. I call it my Matrix reloaded coleslaw. I did not put the chopped pecans on there because, you know, I like that, but everybody might not like it. And I have 2 other people that's going to be eating this. 2 friends that's coming over, and they're going to be eating this. So I will have this on the side in case they want to add. But look at that. It is nice and creamy. Look at that huge piece of pineapple right there in the middle, that chunk of pineapple. The rest of the pineapple, you saw that I cut it, but that one must have escaped me. But you know what? I'm going to leave it because that's for me. The rest of the pineapple is pretty much in really bite-sized pieces. But look at the broccoli, the carrots. There's a handful of raisins in there. There's 1 apple that's cut up in there. There's that splash of orange juice. There's that light sour cream that cuts the fat of the coleslaw dressing. A little salt. I did wind up having to put some salt in it simply because it needed a little. So, you know, you don't have to go crazy with the salt, but it does need a little bit, I found out. And I think that when I've made this in the past, I haven't used salt because the coleslaw dressing that I used, the jar, had a lot of sodium in it. This time I wasn't using that, so, you know. Yeah, but this is nice and creamy, delicious, refreshing. This will go well with any kind of fish, chicken, chop, you know, barbecue, especially barbecue. So, you know, whatever you don't like, you don't have to add it. If you don't like broccoli or whatever, you don't have to put it in there. But this is what makes it loaded. The fact that it has so many things in it. And it doesn't, it's something different than just traditional coleslaw. It's, you know, it's kind of switching it up a little. So I hope you get to make it, and thank you for watching, and you guys take care. Until next time, peace out. That be more Chick Delphine. Bye.